Pseudonym 1821. Hey, Kev, we saw the worst match of all time last week on the Tap Out, but could you tell us the full story of what was truly the worst match of all time? The Master Blasters versus Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner. Corny tells the story about your tag team partner, Iron, missing 2 spots and turning to you mid-match and screaming at you in confusion. Confirm or deny, and what happened to your partner?
So you're going to tell me that a match where a guy missed 2 headbutts is fucking worse than that fucking thing we watched last week? Where the one guy, we didn't even know what he was. He just had a fucking mask on. He was just standing there. Looked like fucking
Looked
the
like
Gimp.
the second referee in the ring.
No, he looked like
the
fucking, he looked like the Gimp on fucking Pulp Fiction. No, so they it's like a week before I'm supposed to make my debut. And we go down to, and at this time there was no power plant or anything else, but Jody Hamilton had a little wrestling school, and that's where I broke in out of there, and it was in a fucking Quonset hut, and we had one half of it, and the other side of it was carpet remnants. No air conditioning, no heat. A half-ass. It was like a boxing ring with a fucking
carpet padding,
right? Carpet remnants and a fucking canvas on it, and it was fucking stiff as fuck. So we went down there with Tim and Brad, and we went, and so they're telling me, don't worry, this guy got taught by Ox Baker. You're talking about
a fine technician.
Yeah. Talking about like fucking like, you know, like, oh, okay. Well, geez, I've only been in the business for fucking a week, and I know that's not fucking anything to fucking be bringing up.
Brad Reagan's camp was full, so they sent him to Ox.
They sent him to Ox. You know, it's always the fucking deal that Ox could talk him in the building, and 1 minute into the fucking match, they'd
make him leave.
They'd charge you double to fucking leave. So we get there, and the fucking they're going to start, and my partner's name was Corey Pendarvis, and they said, okay, Corey, you start with Tim. So they lock up, and Jody says, take an arm. And Corey Pendarvis looks over. Jody goes, what do you mean? I went, I said, fuck. I said, watch out. I said, lock up. We locked up, and poof, I grabbed the arm. And I'm thinking, like, great. I'm going, this isn't taped. This is live Clash of Champions out of Asheville, North Carolina. And I'm like, ugh. Like, fuck. And, you know, and they always say this. They say that, kid, you'll know you got it when you can hear the people. That motherfucker missed a headbutt off the second rope by 4 feet and just no-sold it, got up and went to drop one from his feet and missed that one by 2 feet. And I heard the fucking, I just heard the people just completely fucking just shit on us. Then they started chanting LOD wannabe because they had just lost the Road Warriors. And they just became the Legion of Doom up at Vince.
Mm-hmm.
And they started chanting LOD wannabe. And so we went out, got through that. I hit a power slam. We did a double shoulder tackle for the finish. I got the cover, 1, 2, 3. So not that bad, but, you know, you kind of think you got a clue. So we go on the road, and the first night we're in Dayton, Ohio. And decent little house. I mean, nothing great, maybe 2,000 people. But we're wrestling Tim and Mike Rotunda. So they go out, fuck a bunch of shit up, and Mike says, get him in. So we lock up, and Mike. This is back when you were in two different locker rooms. So I've never talked to Mike before in my life. The first time I'm talking to Mike is in the ring in Dayton Flyer Arena in Dayton, Ohio, and he says, "Take my head." I said, "I take your head in a headlock?" He says, "Yeah, take my head." I said, "Boom, I take his head." He says, "Can you hear me?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "All right." He says, uh, I'm gonna grab your arm and take it behind you." Like, I'm like, he says, "Just like," and he gives me the Iggy on on my arm. So he says, "Loosen that one up." So he takes it and puts it behind me. He says, "Now turn me around so you can back me." And I backed him in, caught him with an elbow, and he said, and we did like one little spot. And he says, "Good." He says, "Now tag your partner in." He says, "And remember what we did tonight." So each night he'd add another little spot on, another little spot on. So that it goes, we go Asheville, let's see, we go Dayton, Canton, Ohio, one more, like a little Marion, Indiana, maybe, and then we go to Hammond, which is just on the other side of Chicago. We go to Hammond, and I wake up that morning, and we're staying in Chicago at the Embassy Suite out by the Rosemont, and I wake up, and my tag team partners, all his bags are gone because I put him on the he didn't have a credit card. And so I put him on the roll, like the pull-out couch in the other room. I took the fucking king-size bed, and I got up and I walked out and I looked and I didn't see his bags. I went, "What the fuck?" So I went downstairs to the bell captain, and I said, "Hey," I said, you know, he said, he said, "I just go talk to the concierge." So I went over to talk to the concierge. Concierge says, "Did he have like mohawk?" I said, "Yeah, he looked like a fucking wrestler." I said, and I had that fucking fuchsia mohawk. I looked like a douchebag. And he was a big jacked up fucker too. And he goes, "Oh no, I put him on a bus to fucking, he wanted to take a bus to Iowa. That's where he was from. So he just fucking leaves. So I'm traveling with it's me and my partner and Dutch and Sid and
Sheiky too, no?
yeah, and Shiki. And they're they're saying, "Who the fuck's driving?" I'm driving, and like Dutch would be like, "All right, you got Tom Zink, it's so and so." They like give you all these like different scenarios and say because they said because I remember Sid turning around and saying, "You can't work where the fuck. You better be able to cut a promo. You ain't gonna be around here very long." And every time they'd give him a promo, he'd stumble with it, and fucking they would all fucking go, "Oh," and she go, "Oh, he's fucking terrible," and fucking So I call fucking I talk to Dutch. I'm like, "Dutch, like my tag team partner bolted." He goes, "Well, fuck, man." He says, "You ain't gonna get paid if you don't show up." So I drove to Hammond. I got there, and Al Green worked earlier. Like he was working like opening match, so Al worked the opening match,
It's always
and
good
then
when a soul singer can open the card.
yeah, it
It's pretty
is.
sweet.
And then Al came. And they put Al with me, and Al had been in the business for a couple of Al could fucking work, and so at least I had like somebody that that I could. And then I think like a couple of road trips later, like we actually traveled with some like we was just me, Al, and somebody else traveled. I think Dutch and Sid and Shiki stayed is a threesome. But yeah, that was fucking like 1 week and my partner's gone.
Yeah,
And
I
then
remember that story.
Al fucking we go probably we beat the Southern boy the Wild Eyes Southern boys. It was Tracy and fucking and Armstrong, Steve Armstrong. We beat them in Chicago at Halloween Havoc, and then we go into Christmas TVs. The Steiner brothers are the tag team champions. We're going to go 2 segments through with the Steiners, but they're going to take it on Al. And Al says no. So they fucking fire Al on the spot. They tell me, Merry Christmas, go on home. So I fucking go home and I go to for some reason, they fly me to, oh, fuck. No, when they blew off the fucking Black Scorpion deal, it ended up being Flair. It was supposed to be like El Perez, like all these different. The Black Scorpion was like 30 different fucking people. Finally, Flair was the Black Scorpion, and he was. I remember him just fucking. Oh, he was so fucking pissed. And but they gave him this red mask that he wore, and he fucking in disgust he threw it in the locker room, and fucking like everybody left, and I was just I'm like fuck man, like Ric Flair wore that mask, that's gonna be worth something. And the next thing you know, I fucking they booked me as Doctor X, and they said we'll put you under the hood. I said I have one. They said which I show up with that black
The Black
scorpion,
Scorpion.
that black scorpion hood, and yeah,
I heard
that
you
was
sold it to Conrad. Is that true?
no.
No. Okay.
I gave it to him, and he sold it.